Good afternoon to all of you guys. Thank you for streaming into this experience series. And time flies. We already reached episode 19. I'm so glad that OrangeTee and the LDD departments give me an opportunity to share. And basically, you guys are already a champion, but I think at times we still need to actually go back to basic and understand what makes us successful. And there are times also things that may not go right. And this is a time probably I can give you a little bit of my thoughts and hope that this will enlighten you somewhere. Okay? And my topic today is there's no guarantee of success, but not to try is as good as to guarantee failure. And my name is Johnson Yen, and I'm Associate District Director with OrangeTee. And I'm glad that I'm with this very great number 3 company in whole Singapore. And let me continue from here. Today, my outline of my topic, I will probably focus in 3 different areas. One is, what do you want out of this particular business we chose to come into our life? And the next one is obviously talking about time management, how we're going to manage our time. And lastly, of course, I want you all to understand what is what is the law of large number. And many a times we always hear is law of average. And today I'm going to share something different called law of large number. Okay, so let's relax and understand this little thing. Now, people forget informations very fast, right? And then we forget. So in order to do that, maybe you would like to write some notes, take down some important pointers that may help you. But if not, then 55% of the now information, that means whatever I share now, 1 hour later, 55% actually gone. You will tend to forget about these informations an hour later. And what happened is, the end of today, 65% of the information I shared, probably you have forgotten. And comes a week later, 75% of the information gone. Just imagine how fast, you know. So probably we have to do some little writing somewhere. Okay, now, success always comes with something. What do you want in life? And of course, everybody have a different mindset, different dreams, you know. So for this particular session, I'm going to share a little bit, which probably you may also understand. And the first one I'm going to talk about, you want to make history. Do you want to make history in this particular business? Meaning to come in, the time frame is up to you to set. There are people coming to this business and they only 5 years, 10 years, they can actually earn that kind of money or have built a career that as good as can last them for the next 10, 20, or even retirement. So that, again, you choose the right industry. And to make the money, and in the next 1, 2, 3, or even 5 years, and I got a friend who actually started off with an executive director with a company, but the amount of pressure, the amount of work, make him feel that he's totally cannot accept this kind of routine job anymore, and he actually came into this business. And within a certain period of time, he have all the satisfaction. At the same time, he make the money faster than what he able to get if he continue to work in that particular company. To have yourself qualify for the top 50, 100 in OrangeTee, and that is probably our inspirations to reach there. And honestly speaking, it's not difficult. You look at those monthly qualifier, a lot of them has been qualifying not one time, you know, there's been qualifying months after month, years after year. And if you ask me why these people can make it, honestly, they have a very good system. So much so that they know what they want and they really embark on it and work hard for it, and the result tells. So this can be, you know, can happen to you. You can do the same thing. And to have your name written somewhere. And this is something that we also want that, you know, along the years, you have a lot of qualifications, and it's much more easier for you to continue this business. Also, at the same time, you can even recruit people with all your awards and testimonials. And there are agents who comes in without a property, and as years goes by, and some of them already owns 1, 2, or 3 properties. And so it's probably also one of your dream. And I suppose if you were to work hard on it, there are people owning more. I've got a friend who comes in without a property today. He actually owns 4 properties. So if this is what you want, this is a business that also can bring you there. And there are people also thinking of buying a good cars, and they are thinking of buying a good cars. What you need to do, don't dream. You dream of a good car. My suggestion is just go down to the showroom, take a look at the model, do a test drive. When you do a test drive, you yourself hands-on and you feel it and you really drive it, I think the motivation drive will be better than you just dream of it. And before you left the the showroom, so-called the car showroom, take the brochure, tear the page that you will obviously motivate you, paste in front of your cubicle or your desk, and every day you're looking at this beautiful car. And you must tell yourself, point to the car that I want you, I will own you one day. With all this motivation, I can tell you every day you're looking at this, somehow this car will be yours. And this motivation is powerful. And when I say that, there are people more smarter. They put not only the car, they also put another house, a dream house in front of them. And with this, every day when you're looking at the car, looking at the house, somehow one day you will qualify. Rather than you just put it here and you tell yourself that I want to own, but you have to put into actions. Okay, this is just a joke. When you're successful, don't do this. Trick in your wife when your wife is 42 years old or somehow along that years, and then you trick in for 221, and you think that that will be better. But this is don't do this. Just a little joke. There are people doing that, but don't follow. This is bad example. Okay. So no need to worry about money. As long as you have all the money in hand, you can do what you want. And you can obviously retire at an early age. Last time when I do a training with some very successful producers, they are all salesperson, and every of us actually work out something that we want to retire at the age of, we don't think about 55 one. We always think of 45, like army, retire at the age of 45. And believe me or not, many of us, before we reach 45, we already earn the kind of money, we already own the kind of property. No need to wait until 55. And there are some of my friends even, they don't use the word retire, but they just slow down and then they go around the world. All this can happen to us because we choose the right business. Honestly, this business can give you all this and shorten your working life. Another 10, 20 years, I suppose it can be done. So I leave it to you. Financial freedom is everybody wants, that you can have the money to travel around the world. And I've been traveling around the world for the last 20 over years to 30 years, I suppose. I have to travel to many parts of the world. Because to me, I always believe that you work hard, you also have to give yourself that little booster that you bring your family. If you are married, bring your children, and let the children remind you what you want to do. If the children were to always barking at you because you promised them something that at the end of the year, you're going to bring them to Disneyland, going to any part of the world, I tell you, every now and then they will come and bark at you. And that also a very good reminder to you, because they remind you that you need to have your obligation, and you promise them you have to work hard and bring in all the money, so that at the end of the year, whole family will have a good bonding aboard. So travel is one of the good bonding to your family, which I've been doing this last 20, 30 years. And you should have a balanced life, because in this life, honestly, many a times, I think you felt it, that it's a very lonely life, a lonely job. And many a times you're talking to yourself, you're working to yourself. And of course, even to the extent some people have to have buddy system, work in a team. But if you are like me working alone, I'm sure at times that you feel a bit very down. So balanced life is very important. As life is short, we live in this world. If you are lucky, you can live up to 65, 70, or even some, of course, to the age of 80. But you cannot wait till you retire before you start to enjoy all this. Sometimes when the time you reach your retirement age, honestly speaking, physically, you may not able to travel also. We may be on wheelchair also. So why not enjoy working hard along the way? You also enjoy life. Meaning to say, not just work, I don't believe just working. You have to have balanced life. Like you must have time for your family, children. You must have time for your friends, friends, and you have to have time for practically everything. And spiritually, if you are, believe in certain, you have to spend the time over there too. So you should have a balanced life. This is my always belief. So I hope that you guys can, take these little thoughts. Okay, there's always a saying. What saying are we talking about? No one plans to fail. Honestly, nobody wants to fail. You and me, we want to succeed. But sad to say, many people do what? Many fail to plan. They can always NATO say only, but no action. So my belief is that if you think and if you plan that you want to do something, write it down. Write it down is powerful. When you write it down, you can see it, you will obviously do it. So my style is I've been practicing last 20 years. I always carry a little, last time was a booklet, small little, the 555, then eventually goes into, obviously I have my iPhone, I have my iPad, all these, but sometimes for fast, I always carry a piece of A4 paper, fold it up, I just scribble. And you never know. You bump into somebody want to give you a contact. Can you contact my friend? My friend wanted to sell a house. Sometimes it's very hard for you to get all the gadget. I'll just take out the pen and I scribble. After that, then I transfer the information into all the gadget I have. So there's another way of what I'm doing. But I like to ask you a very honest questions. Am I working hard? That means I'm asking we ourselves, we working hard or we hardly working? Now, this question always comes to my mind is sometimes when I go into OrangeTee office, right, I realize that there are always 1 or 2 or 3 camps. One camp of people, very busy one. You can hardly see them. You see them, after a while, they disappear. Because they come in, they just print the thing they want to do, they collect whatever documents, and you see them very chop finish and they rush out. And these are my friends, some of them. So I always ask them, hey, why? Oh, I'm very urgent. After this, I need to rush for 2 more appointments, 3 more appointments. Now, this group of people is forever successful one. Because to them, right, they believe is that every day they have to fill up their schedule and fulfill whatever they need to do, which later I'm to cover something about time management. But for a lot of us, right, they will see another camp of people. What they do is always they just stay in the office. But when they stay in the office, they spend the time and doing something correctly. I'm okay. But always there's another group of people are just talking very negatively about the market, talking very negatively about their encounters, things like that. So if you ask me honestly, I will not want to associate with this group of people. I rather associate to another group of people which they come to office at the same time they also busy doing and they are successful agent. It's very simple. If you follow them, the other group of people who talk so bad about the market, and the question I ask you, if so bad, why there are still a lot of people making it? Project is still closing, resale is still closing, HDB is still closing, and then what makes them think that the market is so bad? It's all because of our mindset here that you believe that the market is bad, or someone associated with you says that the market is bad, and you encounter 1 or 2 cases like that, you say the market is bad. Then I rather you really sit down and reorganize your whole thing and think positively that every day are positive, everything are okay, works well, but only you yourself whether you believe that everything is okay or not. But if you don't have a dream, right, you don't deserve one. This is very common saying that why people can be so successful is because they have a dream. They have a dream. And when you have a dream, you work hard towards that goal. At the end of the day, your dream will be fulfilled. But If you don't have, then obviously you don't deserve one also, because you also dare not dream. Even dream you dare not, how can you put into action, honestly speaking? Okay? Survey also shows that there's only 5%, 5% of people will succeed in this business. And then what they normally do, they will do whatever, all the things that I mentioned here, and these are the group of people, they will fulfill all this within their targeted goals. Okay, and they never complain one. They will not well complain, they'll just fulfill it. And as you know, there are so many agents in the market, right? So sometimes the competition comes in. Also, it's good that there are lesser competitions, but somehow there's 30,000. If you work positively on the 5%, follow the 5% of people, you will still make it in this business. But there's another group of people, which is the 95%. They always will come back with all kinds of reasons to prove to you somehow that the market is not working, and they keep on pointing the fingers to who? Pointing fingers to somebody. It could be the leader, it could be the co-broke, it could be the buddy, but they will never condemn themselves or things that they are the one that cause all this. So to me, it's very simple. You should be up the 5%. And the 95% just ignore them. Don't complain, because your leaders are there to help you. Doesn't mean that they are on 24 hours or 24/7 waiting for you. They have their things to do, and you should learn how to be independent. As a human being, that we have to allocate time for everybody, but you also must put yourself in other people's shoes. That okay, fine, maybe at this time you may be having a Zoom meeting, busy, but never mind. Try to find out the answer. Even today, as you know, Google's, you can find out most of the answer. Everything are there. So take that bold step and do it yourself, because if you can try and find out the answer by yourself, am I correct that you learn something? So in future, anything come by along the way, you can answer. You don't need to be, everything has to rely on somebody, which we always do that. Sometimes I also have to rely on some of the people, but after a while I tell myself, no need, I can just Google, I can actually find all the answers there. So we can do this. If I can do this, I'm sure you guys also can. So the whole thing is all about believe in yourself that you can do it. And the greatest tragedy, well, of a man is that we are always doubting our own abilities. As you know, we are so honored, so lucky to be born into this world. I think we already won the battle already. So what is next? What is the next thing is you will have to believe in yourself. It's very short, life is short. You only got, after you minus away all your childhood time, your education time, you left only how really working time is how many years. It could be the next, 20, 30, 40 years, But if you don't believe yourself, right, these 20, 30 years, honestly, you were never able to achieve everything by the end of the day. I think this is something that we have to really ask ourselves that, do you believe in yourself first place? If you believe in yourself, then you move on and do what? This is a very typical case. Look at this guy. I knew this guy during one of the a few conventions I attended in America, and this guy without fail, he's qualified, and look at him, he's on wheelchair, and physically, honestly, is handicapped. So every time I look at him, I feel very, very sorry for this gentleman. And when he shared with me, right, I really feel like crying, because of many rounds he faces a lot of difficulties because he can't walk, all this, right? And how difficult in America, sometimes you need to see a client, it may be miles away, But our friends still, with all their determination and drive, and every year without fail, he's still qualified for this top award. And this is something I'm talking about, the top 6% in the world. And he is someone that I really respect him. You look at the year, I met him in 1995, 96, 97, I still see him around. And with this, he always give myself a booster that if Mark can do it, right, I'm sure I can do it, And he is physically handicapped. But sorry to say, many of us are here handicapped, mentally handicapped. So when we are mentally handicapped, what you need to do is think of Mr. Mark, okay? You just think of Mr. Mark that, oh, Johnson ever shared that this guy, right, on wheelchair, and yet he's still qualified year after year. So this is something I have to tell you guys that it definitely can be done one. It's whether you want to make up your mind and set and tell yourself that I can do it. I believe in myself. You have to believe in myself. The way I look at it, it's an in thing, you know. And Jack Ma ever say something also that anything you have to try to change. You want to do something, you better try and do, and you will never go worse than what you're currently having, you know. So if you don't do this, you don't attempt and do it, that honestly you will just stay in this comfort zone and you cannot move it out. So the only thing you can do is try to move out of this comfort zone. You must have able to have the bold step and move it up. And how to do it, that of course, let me try and give you a little bit of in depth of it later lah. Okay, so this is very simple. You look at it, no looking back. In life, right, we cannot always look back. And look back, Chinese always say, once upon a time in English says, right, 我曾经, every time we hear the word 曾经, but this over already, right? You can't change what has happened in the past, but you can certainly change what will happen in the future. Because if your mindset is correct, everything is ongoing and you attempt and do it, I'm sure you can change your future. And you don't always look back, because there are a lot of times producers probably they have been qualifying many rounds in the past, but somehow now they are more complacent, or they never work as hard as before and they don't qualify. And when you talk to this group of people, he always use back his past record and say that, you know, I'm a producer now, I qualified, I this and that. Yeah, but that is already past, you know. You should be doing something to continue and qualify. That's what I want to hear. It's not keep on telling me about the past. Past is good, you know, to tell people you got a track record. But how about the now and the future? So don't look back, you know. You don't look back. What you need to do is that ask yourself. I always ask people a question is that how many 10, 15, 20 years we have, you know. Initially, I put 10, you know, during some of my talk, or 20, 15, but someone said, hey, Johnson, but I'm so young, what? I'm only 28, 30, or 35. So, okay, fair. You may have another 20 or another 20. It's fine, you know. But if you have these years left, right, especially when someone is already mid 45, 50, 55, ask yourself how many 10, 15, 20 years you have. So the next question, the next one is good. Make hay while the sun shines. You have to do it and make it, and you have to have a timeline, time frame by when you have to achieve all this. To me, it's very simple. That yesterday already become history, and what happened tomorrow is more important, because you will make history. Everybody, you have to try and write history if you can. And you look at our producers, right? I talked to some of our very top producers in OrangeTee and some other companies. Honestly, they never believed that they can be so much. They make 500,000, they bring in 500,000 sales, 600,000 sales. And I asked them, what do you do? They say, I also don't know. In every day I've been seeing 10 people, 20 people, and they just continue, you know. And at the end of the month, they realize that, in fact, they have closed so many cases. This is a challenge part when, don't worry, just continue and do. And at the end of the day, you will see the result. Okay? You can't change the past, but definitely you can impact the future. Okay, then you have to prepare. Honestly, everything we talk is no use. You have to prepare to be successful. So do you dare to dream now? That 20 years from now, you will be more disappointed by the things that you didn't do than the ones that you did. So this question, I leave it to you, because no need to wait for 20 years. You can actually look back your 10, 15 years ago, if you are doing something, and if you are still in the property line 10, 15 years ago, during then, do you reflect back and see whether do you feel better now, or it's not what you want? But if this is not what you want, I suppose this is a time that you can quickly back up and do it and look back 20 years from now, which is 2040. Look back and see whether do you achieve what you want to achieve 20 years ago. Okay, not to regret. And or the best word we hear is 早知道, 早知道. Every time we hear the word 早知道, no 早知道 one. You must know already and work hard for it. And motivation is what we started, but the habit is the thing that we are talking about. You have to have a very good habits in doing all this, you know. So what I suggest is a time management. Your time management is something that I always believe that don't put off tomorrow and what you need to do today. And I honestly speaking, I know, did you ever put off something for tomorrow? Let's say today you may have 5 appointments which you're supposed to do, but why at the end of the day you only can achieve 3, and the other two appointment, what you do? You want to carry forward to tomorrow, but don't forget tomorrow you have another set of appointments, you know. So don't carry forward. Whatever you need to do today, please complete by today. Don't procrastinate. Procrastinate will kill us, you know. Then the next thing I'm going to share is time management, which every time set your priorities, what you need to do, please put it into, please read it, write in somewhere. I use the word, okay? Then from there, you attempt to complete all the important tasks first. What is important task? Something that you must do. Example, maybe you have a meeting with the CPF officer, maybe you have a meeting with someone just flow in, want to look at see a property, you get an appointment. All this I think is a priority to you. But you may say, hey, how to differentiate what is the time, what is called good time, bad time. So I suggest you can use these 3, which I think is quite powerful. You set as goal time. Goal time is something that you have to do one by hook or by crook. On the day you have to finish one. No carry forward. You must finish it by today. Meaning something that is so important that you have to put in your appointment today, first priority, you have to complete it. Silver is something, well, important, but also can hold back for a little while. So I suppose that you will put it into number 2 or number 3. Okay, but comes to bronze time is something that you can still relax a bit. Like example, you may want to have a drink with your friends, and you want to go for a show, you want to go for a karaoke session, all this, or you go shopping. This I think you can put under a little bit on the bronze time and complete the gold time, the silver time. Eventually, you also must complete the bronze time. So I give you an example. If your mother-in-law birthday, if let's say you're married, your wife mother-in-law birthday, so that one fall under what time? Gold time, silver time, bronze time. I leave it to you. Mother-in-law, okay, something very. So I leave it to you. So you can decide where you want to place this appointment under. Okay. Now winners don't do different things, you know, but they actually do it in a different way. So therefore, don't think that, oh, because our friend always champion, he's got luck. It's not luck, you know. He know how to do it in a way that all of us actually knows. But he do it, he practice it, and he work it in a different way. The way that suits you, the way that make you success in that particular area. So I therefore urge you that do it in a different way. Your own style is fine, you know, but at the end of the day, the answer is very clear, written on the wall, that you have to achieve it, strive for it. And always, sometimes you like to ask a lot of why, you know, why and why and why, and then you, but don't ask, you know, you just follow, just do it, you know. You look at the way people, some of them very good. You give them an assignment, they never ask you, no question asked, you just go and accomplish the assignment. This is the right thing to do. Just do it, you know, don't ask. I always, you know, their agents always come back and keep on asking a lot of things, but they no action, you know. So I rather you don't ask, do the right thing at the right time for the right reason, and you will get it the right result. Therefore, this is very simple. One action is better than 1,000 inventions, because we always think, oh, we want to do this, we don't do this, but it's just a NATO, just say only. But the action tells everything. Just go and do it. Action, action, and action. Like what we say, property, location, location, location. You have to be action. You have to just action every now and then. I think at the end of the day, whatever you plan, you will achieve. The miracle is us. Our as a salesperson, there's no shortcut. You must ASK. If you say you are those people don't like to talk, don't like to open your mouth. I'm so sorry to say this business may not be right for you, because you have to open your mouth and ask. And how many times we go for wedding dinner, try to go early, sit, look for the next 8%, 9% going to sit with you, stand by your name card. That's a time, it's a good time for you to ask, talk to them, get their contact, pass the name card. Don't be shy to tell them you're a property agent, nothing wrong, you are professionals, just give them a card and then try to finish your 200 and 400 cards. And I'm sure at the end of the day, someone will come back to you, rather than you keep your card under the drawer, and then I don't know you keep for what, but just give it away and you must ask. So the last thing I'm going to cover is that always remember that every no brings you a closer to a yes. The reason is that we have been facing a lot of objections that many times agents very, very down, disappointed, because whatever clients they talk to seems that everybody don't agree and never give them a chance to do a presentation, let them sell the house. But that come back to something, which I always say is that law of average. Law of average means, honestly, you only get average result, you only get average income. But to me, I rather you do it what? Law of large number. Law of large number means large. Large is how large? I don't know how large. I leave it to you, because when you look at this, right, you have to start to collect the number of no's in your lifetime. There are many people tell you to collect the yes. Everything must be yes. Honestly speaking, not so simple. Everybody will give you a yes. Even you are a experienced top producer, top leader. You mean every case you go, everybody buys you in and give you the deal. I'm sure no, right? There are times they still say no to you, even though you are so good. That's where I say learn how to collect a no. How to collect a no? Every time when they comes to you and say a no, you must also understand in your lifetime. I use the word lifetime. You must know how many no's you want to pick up. And this one you learn from nowhere. This one actually from me, sorry to say, is something I learned. And I do it in such a way that in your lifetime, you may collect 2,000 no's, But the next slide will be interesting, because look at this. Now, if today you are seeing 8 people, and you met 8 people say no to you. So are you be very happy? Are you feeling happy, or are you feeling sad? But the high chance you will feel sad, because why like that? I see one, C1, C2, C3. I think you're already down. Number 4, you're already very disappointed because everybody say no to you. But do you really recall the first one, Mr. Tan, why he say no to you? It could be when he asks you something. Example, maybe he say, okay, I buy this house. I want to buy another house, but this I don't want to pay ABSD. And sad to say, you don't know how to understand, and some reason they don't want you. But will you sit on it and you don't go and find out the answer? The answer you won't, but you will go and find out. Hey, go and ask your upline, go and Google how to get to that answer. So if you know the answer, next time someone asks you the same question, will you able to answer that? I'm sure it's yes for you. So don't worry about collecting no. Just continue and pick up the no. So at the end of the day, you should be happy, because remember earlier the slide, you have to collect the number of no's in your lifetime. So if you have 1 no down, you should be very happy, because you only left, let's say you are aiming for 1,000, you only have 999 no's to go for. So every no's will always come to bring you a yes. So that's where you have to accept it and work on it and find out the answer. At the end of the day, honestly speaking, whether being a project agent, the objection never comes more than 21. Try to master the 20, or if you are a resale agent, same one, 20 objection, never more than 20. So as times go by, every time when you master one, at the end of the day, there's no more objection for you already. So that will be something. Okay, so at the end of the day, I have to end by saying that working hard doesn't kill you, but stress does. So if your commissions don't come in, that's the time really kills. So I hope that at the end of the day, lastly, ask yourself why you want to succeed in this business. Okay? There's 2 types of agents. Either you succeed or you not so. The worst thing is every time our spouse will always ask we all to accompany them to shopping. So assume your wife asks you, say, hey, honey, come, let's go shopping. And then she look at the dress, she like the purple dress, she like the yellow dress. But when if you're not successful, what you're going to do? First, you say, okay, honey, yes, let me take a look. And your honey always asks you, which one is better? So most of the time, if you are not successful, you take a look at the price tag. Oh, the yellow one is only $59, but the purple one costs $160. Which one you will promote? You will tell your wife, oh, honey, the yellow one looks better on you. If, you know. But if you are successful, you will tell your honey, why you worry so much? Take the purple, take the yellow, and take one more for your mother. So with this, I end my thoughts, and thank you for watching, and a good day for you guys, and hope that after today, everybody will succeed in whatever field you are in now, especially be the project agent or resale agent. Thank you very much.